Today, we're diving into the world of nearly perfect HBO shows that absolutely blew our minds. From ruthless family empires to hilarious political chaos, these shows had it all, and honestly, they set the gold standard for television. Let's explore 10 HBO shows that are basically a masterclass in storytelling. Kicking off our list is a show that skewers the tech world so perfectly it's almost painful to watch. Imagine taking the most awkward, brilliant coder you can think of, giving him a world-changing algorithm, and then throwing him to the wolves of venture capital. The result is pure, unadulterated chaos. This show just nails the absurdity of startup culture, from the ridiculous company names to the CEOs with god complexes that are way too real. Every character is a pitch-perfect caricature you've probably met if you've spent 5 minutes in the tech space. It's a hilarious, razor-sharp critique that follows a group of nerds trying to make their startup, Pied Piper, a reality without selling their souls. It's not just a comedy, it's a documentary of the madness. We're talking about Silicon Valley. This show is a must-watch for anyone who loves a good underdog story. Next up, a political satire so sharp and vicious it makes actual politics look tame. Forget inspirational speeches and noble intentions. This is about the gritty, soul-crushing reality of clawing your way to the top. The show centers on a vice president and later president, Selena Meyer, who is ambitious, insecure, and surrounded by the most gloriously incompetent team ever assembled. The dialogue is a masterclass in creative insults, a whirlwind of profanity and wit that leave you breathless from laughing. It peels back the curtain on Washington, D.C. to reveal a world of backstabbing, constant media scandals, and desperate power grabs. Julia Louis-Dreyfus gives a legendary performance, but the entire ensemble is just flawless. It's hilarious without ever feeling preachy, capturing the sheer absurdity of the political machine. This absolute gem is VEEP. It's a cynical, brilliant, and unforgettable ride. Now let's explore a show that was, and still is, seriously polarizing. It threw a lens on that messy, confusing post-college phase of life with a level of honesty that made a lot of people uncomfortable. It follows 4 young women in New York City just trying to figure it all out, and spoiler alert, they mostly don't. They're navigating terrible jobs, even worse relationships, and the crushing uncertainty of your 20s. It was created by Lena Dunham, who also stars, and it really felt like the first time a show captured the specific anxieties of millennials without filtering them through a glossy Hollywood lens. The characters are flawed, they make terrible decisions, and they're often not very likable, which is exactly what makes the show so real and relatable. It's a raw, funny, and sometimes cringy exploration of that quarter-life crisis. The show is, of course, Girls. It perfectly captured a moment in time with humor and charm. Moving on to a show that starts with a premise so wild you can't believe it works, but then it hits you with so much emotional depth. We follow a depressed ex-Marine hitman from the Midwest who travels to Los Angeles for a job. But then he accidentally stumbles into an acting class and discovers a passion he never knew he had. What follows is this incredible tightrope walk between 2 completely different worlds. One moment he's doing a heartfelt monologue, and the next he's dealing with the violent consequences of his past life catching up to him. Bill Hader, who co-created and stars in the show, is absolutely phenomenal, blending dark humor with genuine pathos. It's a dark comedy that constantly explores identity, redemption, and whether you can truly escape who you are. The show is the one and only Barry. It's a brilliant, genre-bending masterpiece that will make you laugh and break your heart. Now for a show that is just a savage Shakespearean takedown of the 1%. It's all about this ridiculously wealthy, dysfunctional family fighting for control of their global media empire. The patriarch, a terrifying force of nature, pits his 4 children against each other in a brutal, never-ending contest for his approval and the company crown. The dialogue is some of the most clever, cutting, and hilarious writing you will ever hear. These characters live in such an insulated bubble of privilege that they have no idea how the real world works, and the show just roasts them for it relentlessly. It's a dark comedy, a corporate thriller, and a heartbreaking family drama all rolled into one. Every performance is incredible, but Brian Cox as the monstrous Logan Roy is truly on another level. This is the unforgettable Succession. The show is a deliciously vicious look at power and family. If you're loving this list of TV perfection, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the best shows out there. It helps us keep finding these amazing series for you. Alright, next up is a show that wasn't just a show, it was a global cultural phenomenon. It completely redefined what television was capable of. Based on George R.R. Martin's books, it created a sprawling, intricate world of warring kingdoms, political intrigue, and, oh yeah, dragons. It subverted every fantasy trope you could think of. The handsome hero wasn't safe, alliances were constantly shifting, and no one was purely good or evil. It was a brutal world where power was the only thing that mattered, and the show wasn't afraid to show the devastating consequences of the great game. With its massive ensemble cast, interconnected storylines, and stunning production value, it felt more like a series of epic movies than a TV show. Even with its controversial ending, the journey was an unparalleled television experience. I am, of course, talking about Game of Thrones. It truly changed the landscape of modern television. Let's talk about a show that is so brave, so personal, and so incredibly important. Created by and starring the brilliant Michaela Cole, this series tackles the aftermath of a sexual assault with a nuance and realism that is absolutely groundbreaking. She plays Arabella, a young writer in London whose life is turned upside down after her drink is spiked. The show doesn't just focus on the trauma itself, but on the messy, confusing, and sometimes darkly funny process of healing and trying to piece your life back together. It fearlessly explores consent, memory, and modern relationships in a way that feels utterly contemporary. Arabella is not a perfect victim. She's a complex, flawed, and fully realized human being. The show masterfully blends its serious subject matter with moments of dark humor, breaking the tension without ever undermining the gravity of the story. This powerful series is I May Destroy You. It is an essential and unforgettable piece of art. Now for a show that is less of a crime drama and more of a sprawling, novelistic examination of an American city. Set in Baltimore, this masterpiece transcends its genre to become a profound critique of the systems that shape our society. Each season delves into a different institution: the drug trade, the police department, the city government, the school system, and the media. It shows how all these complex systems are interconnected and how they often fail the very people they're supposed to serve. The cast is huge and there are no clear heroes or villains, just people trying to survive within a broken system. It's a slow burn, demanding your full attention, but the payoff is immense. It's a powerful, intelligent, and deeply human story about the realities of urban America. We're talking about one of HBO's greatest achievements, The Wire. It's a show that will stick with you long after you finish it. Finally, we arrive at the show that arguably kickstarted this whole golden age of television. It completely revolutionized the TV drama by giving us a hero who was also a villain. The series centers on a New Jersey mob boss who's trying to balance his life of crime with his dysfunctional family life, all while secretly seeing a therapist to deal with his anxiety. James Gandolfini's portrayal of Tony is one of the greatest performances in television history. He's a violent monster, but he's also a charismatic, funny, and deeply troubled man, full of contradictions. The show explored his psychology with a depth that had never been seen before on TV, using his therapy sessions to peel back the layers of his brutal persona. It was a complex, funny, violent, and philosophical exploration of morality, family, and the American dream. The show that changed it all is, of course, The Sopranos. It's an undisputed masterpiece that set the bar for everything that followed. And that's our list. 10 shows that prove why HBO has been at the top of the TV mountain for so long. What did you think? Did I miss any of your favorites? Let me know down in the comments. I genuinely want to know what you guys think are the absolute best of the best. This is what it's all about, sharing the shows we love. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can join our next TV obsession session. Until next time, happy watching.